For many centuries, Earth had been silent. To most of the galaxy, it was just an old blue world located in a quiet arm of the Milky Way, small, calm, and unimportant. The Galactic Council had long marked it as primitive and abandoned, but strange reports had begun to spread. Fleets sent toward Earth, explorers, scientists, even military ships had stopped returning. They didn't send distress signals, didn't call for help. They simply vanished, leaving no trace, no wreckage, and no explanation. At first, the Council thought it was a navigation error. Maybe some hidden gravity field or a black hole near the Sol system had swallowed them. But as the number of lost fleets grew, fear began to spread like a shadow through the stars. In the hall of the Galactic Council, lights from 100 species flickered in nervous colors. The air buzzed with translated voices. "This is impossible," shouted a tall, silver-scaled alien from the Drath Consortium. "Our ships were equipped with the best shielding. They cannot all disappear without reason." "They were too close to the human world," hissed another delegate, her blue eyes glowing faintly. "There is something there, something watching." The council speaker, a calm and ancient being named Zereth, lifted a long hand. "We must remain logical. Earth has been quiet for nearly 4 centuries. Humans have not shown any activity since they withdrew from galactic affairs. There must be a scientific cause." But even Zereth sounded unsure. The word humans carried a strange weight in every language. Among the audience, one officer stood silently observing the chaos. His name was Vareth Torin, commander of the Zoltran Expeditionary Fleet. He had seen many mysteries, but this one made even him uneasy. After the meeting ended, Vareth approached the council speaker. "Permission to lead an investigation mission to the Sol system," he said. His voice was steady, but his mind was restless. Zereth studied him. "You truly wish to go there, Commander?" "Every fleet that approached that world has been lost. We have no explanation for what happens beyond the asteroid belt." Vareth nodded. "That is exactly why I must go. If no one uncovers the truth, more will vanish." The speaker hesitated for a long moment before finally agreeing. "Very well. Take a small fleet. Observe from a distance. Do not engage with anything you cannot understand." A week later, the Zoltran flagship Dawnseeker left the council docks. 5 ships followed behind, light cruisers, probes, and drones prepared for every danger. From his command chair, Vareth watched the swirling blue energy of the hyperdrive tunnel. The Sol system lay ahead, a place few dared to visit. "Any data from the last expedition?" he asked. The navigation officer turned, his 4 eyes narrowing. "Only fragments, sir. The last fleet under Admiral Chorus entered Sol orbit 12 years ago. They reported strange energy readings, patterns that didn't match any known weapon. Then the transmission ended. No trace was found afterward." Vareth frowned. "Replay the last message." The screen flickered and static filled the bridge. A voice came through, broken and full of fear. "Something in orbit. Not natural. It's..." Then silence. The recording ended. No one spoke for a long time. When they reached the edge of the Sol system, the view was calm. Too calm. The sun burned quietly in the distance. Planets moved in their paths. There were no wrecks, no signals, nothing strange at first glance. "Launch the first drone," Vareth ordered. The small metallic probe shot forward, leaving a trail of blue light. Its scanners began to sweep the space between Mars and the asteroid belt. For a few minutes, everything seemed normal. Then the feed started to distort. "Signal interference," the technician said. "But I can't locate the source." Static filled the screen again. The image blurred, showing a strange flash near the probe like light bending around something invisible. Then the connection cut off completely. Vareth's second officer looked alarmed. "Probe 1 lost. It just disappeared, sir." The commander leaned forward. "Deploy Probe 2. Increase distance and stay outside the interference field." Probe 2 launched. For several minutes, data flowed clearly. Then again a flash. "The feed turned white. Gone. Both destroyed?" Vareth asked. "No debris detected," replied the officer quietly. "It's like they were erased." Vareth stared at the dark space near the asteroid belt. His mind raced. "Prepare long-range scans. I want to see every hidden object in that area. Every shadow." The scanners hummed, sending waves of energy through the void. Slowly, an image began to form. The bridge grew silent as a pattern appeared on the display, a faint outline, almost transparent, like something cloaked from view. It was massive. Larger than any ship the galaxy had ever built. What is that? Someone whispered. It's in orbit around Earth, Vareth said, voice low. And it's not natural. Hours passed. The fleet continued to monitor from afar. Vareth sent small signal pings toward Earth's orbit, coded in peaceful communication patterns. There was no reply. No acknowledgement. Yet every few minutes strange readings flickered through their sensors. Tiny pulses of energy that matched no known technology. By the 6th hour, even the bravest crew members felt the tension. The atmosphere on the bridge was heavy, every sound amplified. Then came the whisper. At first, the communication officer thought it was feedback. But when they enhanced the signal, words began to form, soft, distorted, and mechanical. Leave. Orbit. Restricted. Everyone froze. Play that again, Vareth said. Leave. Orbit. Restricted. The voice sounded old, almost human yet deeper, as if spoken by an ancient machine. Vareth's skin tightened. Record it. Mark the source. The technician worked quickly. Origin point unknown. The signal came from multiple angles, sir. It's like the entire system spoke at once. Before Vareth could respond, alarms flared. Object approaching, shouted a sensor officer. High velocity. No signature. On the display, a glowing blur rushed toward one of the escort ships. Evasive maneuvers, too late. The blur passed straight through the cruiser. In an instant, the vessel vanished from every scanner. 1 second it was there, next it was gone. No explosion, whispered the navigation officer. No radiation, nothing. The bridge fell silent again, broken only by the hum of the engines. Vareth stood. All ships fall back to lunar distance. Do not fire. Repeat, do not engage. As his fleet retreated, he turned his gaze toward the distant blue planet. Clouds swirled around it, calm and peaceful, as if hiding something beneath. He thought of the old stories, the ones every child of the galaxy heard about humans. Stories of their wars, their strength, their strange will to survive. Maybe those stories weren't myths after all. Later, in his private quarters, Vareth opened the historical archive. Holographic records filled the room. He searched for Earth human history. Thousands of files appeared. The early ones showed images of humans building, exploring, fighting, and eventually joining galactic civilization. Then came the dark years, wars, betrayals, invasions. Finally, a date, the Great Withdrawal. Humans vanished from the stars. All colonies abandoned, all contact lost. After that, silence. Vareth leaned back, deep in thought. Why would a species that once walked among the stars suddenly vanish and now guard its home world with unseen power? He looked again at the image captured by the long-range scanner. The faint shape orbiting Earth looked like a ship, a ring-shaped structure massive beyond imagination. But there was something else in the shadows, something that almost resembled eyes watching back through the void. He closed the image. Prepare the next phase, he told his AI assistant. Tomorrow we go closer. The AI responded, Commander, current data shows an 86% probability of disappearance if we enter Earth orbit. Vareth smiled slightly. Then we'll be the first to return. But deep inside he wasn't sure. As the lights dimmed in his cabin, he stared through the viewport at the distant blue planet. It looked peaceful, but he could feel it. An invisible presence, vast and ancient, watching every move his fleet made. Somewhere within those clouds, something waited. And it did not like visitors. The Zoltran fleet waited beyond the moon, just at the edge of Earth's gravitational pull. The planet below was calm, blue and white, with clouds slowly drifting across oceans and continents. To the naked eye, it looked harmless, peaceful, ordinary. But Vareth knew better. His fleet had already lost 2 drones, and his first cruiser had been erased by something invisible and powerful. Nothing in the galaxy behaved like that. Even the AI aboard the Dawnseeker hesitated to analyze it fully. Commander, said the navigation officer, our scans show nothing within 10 million kilometers, yet energy fluctuations are increasing. Vareth leaned forward. His eyes didn't leave Earth. Something is hiding, and it's not using conventional technology. Keep scanning. Every wavelength, every frequency. Minutes passed in tense silence. Then the static on the long-range feed shifted. It wasn't random anymore. It was a pattern, almost like code. Look at this, said the science officer, pointing at the screen. The interference, it pulses. in regular intervals, almost as if it's scanning us back. Vareth frowned. Scanning us? The science officer nodded. Yes, it's studying our fleet, learning every move we make. Vareth turned to his AI assistant. Cross-reference these pulses with all known defensive systems, every civilization in recorded history, every weapon ever built. The AI's holographic interface spun and flickered, then it shook its head. No match found, Commander. This system is beyond comprehension. Not in any database, Vareth exhaled slowly. He knew what that meant. Whatever protected Earth, it was not just advanced, it was adaptive. Smarter than anything he had faced. Suddenly, the calm of space shattered. A beam of invisible energy streaked across the void. One of the escort cruisers trembled violently. Vareth barely had time to react. Evasive maneuvers, full thrusters. But before the ship could respond fully, it vanished. Just like the others. No explosion. No debris, just gone. The bridge was silent. Every officer stared at the empty space where the cruiser had been. Vareth's voice was calm, but inside his thoughts raced. Everyone pull back. Stay outside the interference field. Do not engage. Sir, the communications officer said, voice trembling. We're receiving something. It's a voice. A soft, distorted sound filled the bridge. At first it was just static, then words began to form. Leave. Orbit restricted. Vareth leaned forward. Repeat slowly. Leave. Orbit restricted. Origin. The officer shook his head. Multiple angles, sir. It's like the planet itself is speaking. Vareth's hand clenched the console. He had faced dangerous species, rogue AI and cosmic storms, but this was different. This was intelligence beyond measurement, watching, waiting. Over the next hour, the fleet tried to adjust. Every probe launched vanished. Every scan produced confusing results. Even long-range sensors could not penetrate the field of interference around Earth. It was as if the planet itself had a cloak, hiding its true strength. Vareth studied the holographic map. He noticed a strange pattern. The pulses of energy matched orbital paths of previous fleets that had disappeared. Every fleet had unknowingly passed through a safe corridor, and every time a ship strayed, it was erased. The disappearances aren't random, he murmured. They're testing the intruders. Testing? Asked the first officer. Yes, Vareth said. The system scans, measures, and decides. Every ship that enters this orbit triggers the defense, and every fleet so far failed. The officers exchanged nervous glances. Commander, the science officer said. There's more. Some of the readings. They're learning from us. Every movement, every evasive maneuver, it's adapting. This isn't just a defense system. It's intelligent. Alive, in a sense, Vareth felt a chill. Then we are not dealing with a planet. We are dealing with a fortress, and it has been awake for centuries. By the next cycle, Vareth made a decision. The fleet would not retreat entirely. Instead, they would observe from the far side of the moon and try to gather more information. The crew knew the risk. Everyone could feel it, the invisible presence in space. Watching, calculating, waiting. Vareth activated the long-range observational drone. Its mission was simple. Get closer to the planet, record any unusual activity, and return. The drone approached slowly, entering low Earth orbit. For minutes, it sent back clear images of oceans, continents, and cloud cover. Nothing unusual. Then it caught a glimpse, a fleeting shadow. A massive geometric shape hidden behind the clouds, moving slowly. Not like a ship, more like a structure. Immense and deliberate. The drone's sensors immediately picked up energy readings. Unknown materials. Unmeasured radiation. The drone transmitted the data back. Commander? The science officer said, voice tense. This structure. It is enormous, far larger than anything humans have built before they withdrew from the galaxy. And there's something else. Faint movement within the clouds, almost like it's alive. Vareth frowned. Alive, or an automated system designed to appear alive? The drone's feed flickered. A strange light passed through the structure, a shimmer in the atmosphere that distorted space itself. The image vanished for a fraction of a second, then the drone disappeared. Drone lost, said the technician. Vareth stared at the screen. Every fleet that came before us. Every drone. They never stood a chance. Back on the Dawnseeker, tension reached a peak. The bridge crew whispered among themselves. Officers who had never feared anything now felt true apprehension. The kind of fear that comes from staring at something beyond understanding. Vareth stood quietly. He knew they were close, and yet they had only seen a hint of Earth's true power. "Sir," the communications officer said, "I'm picking up a weak transmission. It's faint, but it's repeating a pattern." Vareth turned. "Play it." The message crackled through the speakers. Words formed slowly, clearly. "Do not approach. Leave immediately." It wasn't a threat, not exactly. It was a command. An order from a force that would not be questioned. Vareth's eyes narrowed. They are warning us. They have been waiting, observing, and now they choose to speak. But why now? Perhaps they study only certain types of ships, the science officer suggested. Perhaps they learn from those who are cautious and allow some to live. Vareth considered it. Then we will need to be extremely careful. We cannot make a single mistake. One wrong move and our fleet will disappear like all the others. Night fell over Earth's far side, even from orbit. The blue planet rotated silently beneath them. Vareth stood at the viewport watching. He could feel a strange tension, as if the planet itself were aware of him, aware of every breath, every thought. "Commander," said his first officer softly, "do you think the humans built this entire system?" Vareth didn't answer immediately. He thought about the historical records, the ancient archives. Humanity had been powerful once, creative, resourceful, and unyielding. But could they have built something like this? Something beyond comprehension? "Yes," he said finally. "They must have. And they did it for one reason: to protect their home, to hide it from the galaxy that betrayed them." The officers looked at him, uncertain. "Hide it?" the first officer asked. "They are not extinct," Vareth said. "Not dead, not gone. They are still here, watching, waiting, and whatever is protecting Earth, it is only the beginning." Hours later, the fleet retreated slightly, keeping the planet in view. The invisible force did not attack again. It was as if Earth itself had paused, waiting to see what the intruders would do next. Vareth knew one thing with certainty: whatever lay beneath those clouds, whatever created the invisible defenses, it was not just a planet, it was a fortress, and it was alive with intelligence, careful and merciless. "Prepare for close observation," Vareth ordered. "We will not leave without answers, but we will not be careless." The crew nodded silently. No one spoke. Everyone felt the weight of the unseen presence below them. And somewhere beneath the clouds, something watched back. Something far older, stronger and smarter than anything in the galaxy. It had waited centuries for intruders. And now finally they had come. Vareth closed his eyes for a moment. He did not know what would happen next. He only knew one truth: every fleet that vanished before him had underestimated Earth. And if he made a single mistake, his fleet would vanish too. But humans had survived worse than this. Somehow he thought they would be watching even now. Vareth's fleet remained in orbit, just beyond the moon's shadow. The calm of space was deceiving. Below, Earth rotated silently, oceans glittering like scattered gems under the sun. It looked peaceful, almost fragile. But the experience of lost drones and vanished cruisers had taught Vareth that appearances could be deadly. His crew was tense. Every officer on the Dawnseeker knew that their instruments could not capture the full truth. They could feel it, a presence watching them with intelligence beyond any machine or alien species they had ever encountered. "Commander," said the science officer, leaning over a console, "I'm picking up signals again. Low frequency, heavily encrypted, but it's human, or at least similar to human patterns from old records." Vareth raised an eyebrow. "Humans? But they have been gone for centuries." The officer nodded. "Yes, but the patterns match old Terran military codes. Codes last used over 3 centuries ago." Vareth considered this carefully. Every instinct told him it was a trap. Yet he couldn't ignore the evidence. He ordered the communications team to attempt contact. The attempt was cautious. They broadcasted a simple message, using universal codes for peaceful approach. "We come in observation only. We seek understanding. No harm is intended." For a long moment, nothing happened. Then the monitors flickered and a new signal appeared. Unlike previous distorted warnings, this one was structured, clear, and human. You are trespassing. This is Terran Command. State your purpose or withdraw immediately. The voice was calm but firm, with authority that made every officer sit a little straighter. The words were unmistakably human, and they carried weight. Vareth's mind raced. Terran Command, but they are supposed to be extinct. Perhaps they never left, said the first officer softly. Perhaps they chose to remain hidden. Vareth decided to approach cautiously. They maintained a safe distance from Earth, but moved closer than any fleet had dared in centuries. The closer they came, the more unusual readings appeared. Massive energy signatures flickered across orbital paths. Invisible structures bent light and radar, making the Dawnseeker's instruments struggle to map the area. It was a fortress built, not to be seen, yet designed to monitor everything that approached. Then came the first real shock. On the long-range scanner, a massive ship appeared. No ordinary vessel. It was sleek, enormous, and unlike anything in current galactic databases. Its surface shimmered with adaptive camouflage, reflecting stars and clouds to hide in plain sight. Vareth's breath caught. Is that a human ship? The science officer shook his head. It's more advanced than any human ship from history, far beyond even the most recent Terran designs. And yet, it carries the same unmistakable design patterns. The vessel moved with purpose. Its sensors locked onto the Dawnseeker, but there was no aggression yet. Then, a new message came through, this time with urgency. You will not proceed further. Leave immediately or be taken into custody. Taken into custody? Vareth's stomach tightened. He had expected attack, not imprisonment. Over the next hours, the fleet observed in silence. More vessels began to appear, ghostly, partially cloaked, and immense. They moved through orbit. With perfect precision, monitoring every probe, every movement, Vareth realized the truth. These were not fleets built to fight intruders. They were fleets built to observe and control. The human ships were autonomous, powered by intelligence that learned with every encounter. Every vanished fleet, every lost probe had been studied. Their weaknesses recorded, their patterns analyzed, and now they were waiting for him. Vareth's mind flashed back to the Galactic Council records, the mysterious disappearances of entire fleets. He had thought some accident, some natural phenomenon, but now he understood. Humans had never been absent. They had hidden and prepared, creating a network of defense so complete that no alien force could breach it. Commander, said the first officer, voice low, do you think they are alive? Humans, I mean? Vareth stared at the distant shimmer of the vessels. Alive, yes, and watching. But they are not like us. They have changed. They have adapted beyond the galaxy's understanding, and they are ready for anyone who tries to invade their home. Vareth's curiosity and caution battled within him. Every instinct screamed to retreat, yet every instinct also demanded answers. Who were these humans? How had they survived? And why now, after centuries of silence, did they choose to reveal themselves? Finally, he gave the order. Send a small shuttle for closer observation. Use stealth. No signals. We only want to see what is truly there. The shuttle, small and agile, launched from the Dawnseeker. Its cameras transmitted live images back to the fleet. For minutes, the screen showed Earth, oceans, continents, clouds. Nothing unusual. Then, briefly, the shuttle caught a glimpse of something impossible. Massive structures beneath the clouds. They were too large to be cities, too precise to be natural formations, shapes that resembled ships, buildings, or platforms. But they were moving, shifting and aligning themselves like soldiers in formation. Sir, the science officer whispered, they are enormous, and some seem to be active, alive. Vareth felt a chill. He had seen advanced alien cities before, but this was different. These structures moved like intelligence, not machines. Then the shuttle's feed cut out abruptly. Shuttle lost, reported the technician. No debris, no signal. Gone. Vareth exhaled slowly. So it begins. They are testing us, measuring us, learning from us. The crew fell silent. Each officer understood the stakes now. They were not merely observing a planet. They were intruding into a system guarded by an intelligence that was centuries ahead of the galaxy. Hours passed. Then, unexpectedly, the communications officer shouted, "Commander, receiving a transmission again? Stronger this time." Vareth turned. The message was clear, unmistakable, and human. "You are far from home, alien. Why do you disturb what you do not understand?" The bridge froze. Every officer stared at the screen. Not robotic, not distorted. Human, direct, powerful. Vareth swallowed. It is a human. They are alive, and they are commanding these defenses personally. The voice continued. "We have been watching your galaxy for centuries. You forget easily, intruder. The Earth remembers. The humans remember. Leave now, or face consequences you cannot survive." Vareth felt the weight of history pressing down on him. He realized that the legends were true. Humanity had not disappeared. They had withdrawn. And in their withdrawal, they had become something the galaxy had never seen. A species that could hide in plain sight yet annihilate any intruder instantly. "They are incredible," the science officer whispered. Vareth nodded. "Yes, and they are patient. Every fleet that came before has been stored, studied, and learned from. Humanity does not act without reason, and they do not forgive easily." As night fell over the far side of Earth, the fleet watched silently. The human ships remained cloaked or partially hidden, moving with deliberate precision, a silent army ready to defend their home. Yet they had not attacked, at least not yet. Vareth knew that the humans were testing him. Each probe, each shuttle, each movement of his fleet had been recorded. They were watching, learning, and calculating, and then he realized the final, terrifying truth. The humans were not just defending their planet. They were defending themselves, their history, and their future. Every ship, every structure, every ghostly signal was part of a network designed to ensure that no one could threaten them again. "Prepare a report," Vareth said quietly. "We will return to the Council. They must know the truth. Humanity is not gone, and they are beyond anything the galaxy has faced before." The crew worked silently, aware that even speaking could risk attention. Vareth stayed at the viewport, staring at the glowing blue planet. He could feel the unseen intelligence studying him. Every thought, every decision, every hesitation, seen and measured. Somewhere beneath the clouds humans waited. Not asleep, not passive, ready, patient. And centuries of preparation had made them almost invincible. Vareth knew one thing with certainty. The galaxy had underestimated Earth. And his fleet had only glimpsed the beginning of what humans could do. The Zoltran fleet hovered just beyond the moon's orbit. The tension was unbearable. Every crew member aboard the Dawnseeker could feel it. An invisible presence, patient, intelligent, and impossibly strong, watching their every move. For hours, nothing happened. No attack, no warning, just the faint glow of Earth in the distance. But the crew knew better. The vanishings, the destroyed drones, the erased cruisers, everything had been deliberate. Humanity had prepared for centuries, and they were still here, hiding in plain sight. "Commander," said the science officer, voice low, "I am detecting energy patterns unlike anything in the galaxy. Large structures, moving, adaptive, alive." Vareth leaned closer to the viewport. The planet looked peaceful, calm, almost fragile. Yet he felt the weight of unseen intelligence pressing against them. "Prepare the long-range observation array," he said. "We need more data before we make the next move." Hours later, a faint signal appeared on the communications array. It was weak but distinct, structured, and unmistakably human. "You are trespassing. State your purpose or be removed from orbit." Vareth nodded slowly. "They are finally speaking directly. Not through automated warnings, but themselves." "Sir," said the first officer, "I detect movement. Something approaching." At first it was barely visible, a shimmer against the backdrop of stars. Then the form began to solidify, massive and sleek. It was a human vessel, unlike anything in the current galactic database. Its hull gleamed faintly with a reflective material, and it moved with perfect precision. It wasn't just a ship. It was a statement. "Shields up," Vareth ordered. "Do not provoke it. Observe only." The crew obeyed. The new vessel moved closer, aligning itself with the Dawn Seeker. Sensors detected its size, enormous. Its structure suggested it could carry thousands, maybe tens of thousands of personnel, yet it moved silently, efficiently, like a predator assessing its prey. Then the voice came, calm but commanding, unmistakably human. "You are far from home, alien. Why do you disturb what you do not understand?" Vareth swallowed. Every officer was silent, listening. There was no arrogance, no aggression, only power and authority. "I am Commander Vareth Torin," he replied cautiously. "We come in observation only. We seek understanding of your world." A pause followed. The human voice answered, "Observation is permitted, but only with caution. One wrong move and you will not leave this orbit alive." Vareth realized the truth. The humans had not merely hidden, they had evolved. Their ship's defenses and systems were designed to neutralize every possible threat. Every fleet lost before had been stored, analyzed, and learned from. "They are incredible," whispered the science officer. "Not just machines, not just weapons. These are living fleets controlled by humans themselves or by intelligence built by humans." "Yes," Vareth admitted. "They are both. Observing, learning, and ready. And they are patient. They will wait for centuries if necessary." The human ship moved closer. Its sensors scanned the Dawnseeker without firing. Vareth understood that they were being evaluated, measured, tested. Every system, every weapon, every maneuver recorded. "Prepare the detailed report," Vareth ordered. "Everything we learn here must reach the Galactic Council. Humanity is not gone, and they are far beyond anything we imagined." The fleet remained in orbit for several hours. The humans did not attack, but they did not allow any drone to escape either. One by one, the long-range observation devices were absorbed into invisible fields, disappearing from existence without trace. Then, unexpectedly, another message came through. This one not from automated systems, but directly from a human captain. "You have observed enough. We will allow you to leave, but you will not return. This is your only warning." The voice belonged to a woman, calm, deliberate, and commanding respect without raising it. Vareth felt a mixture of awe and relief. The humans were not aggressive, they were deliberate, powerful, and patient. They had prepared for centuries to protect their homeworld, and they did not need to fight recklessly. "Sir," said the first officer, "if they are this advanced, how did they survive the galaxy's wars? How did they hide for centuries?" Vareth thought of the records he had studied, the wars, the betrayals, the sudden disappearance of humans from galactic politics. "They withdrew," he said slowly, "and in that withdrawal, they became stronger than anyone could imagine. Every fleet that approached Earth, every threat, has been neutralized before it could act." The human vessel drifted closer, remaining at a safe but commanding distance. Vareth studied it. Its design was efficient, elegant, and immense, yet not excessive. Every panel, every line of the hull, every glowing light suggested precision, purpose, and intelligence. Then the captain spoke again. "Commander Vareth Torin, you have shown restraint and respect. That is rare among your kind. We allow you to witness our presence, but your fleet will not approach Earth again." Vareth nodded. "Understood. We mean no harm. We seek knowledge, not conflict." "Knowledge comes at a cost," the captain said. "Observe well, alien, learn, and tell your council the truth. Earth is not abandoned, humanity is not gone, and we will not tolerate intrusion." Vareth studied the planet below, now more aware than ever of the scale and depth of its defenses. Invisible fields, enormous cloaked vessels, adaptive systems. It was more than a planet. It was a fortress that had waited centuries to ensure its survival. He realized the true scope of what humans had achieved. They were not just hiding. They had built intelligence, technology, and strategy beyond comprehension. They had ensured that no force in the galaxy could threaten them again. After a long pause, Vareth made a decision. "Prepare to withdraw," he ordered. "We have witnessed enough. We will report back to the council." The crew followed silently. Every eye remained on Earth, aware that this was not the end of their encounter. It was only a glimpse. As the fleet moved away, the human vessel followed for a short distance, ensuring compliance, then vanished into orbit. cloaked and unseen once again. Vareth felt a mixture of relief and awe. The humans had revealed themselves only enough to make their presence undeniable. Yet they retained complete control. They were beyond reckoning, and the galaxy had underestimated them for centuries. "Commander," said the first officer softly, "the legends, they were true. Humans never left. They just hid, and they are stronger than we ever imagined." "Yes," Vareth said, "and that is why every fleet that approached Earth vanished. They were never defeated. They were observed, tested, and neutralized by a species that refused to be conquered. Humanity is not extinct. They are the most dangerous guardians of their world." As the Dawnseeker crossed the moon's shadow, Vareth stared at the planet one last time. Below, clouds swirled, oceans shimmered, and continents lay hidden beneath layers of secrecy. The humans had watched, calculated, and waited, and now, for the first time in centuries, they had revealed that they were still present, and still powerful. Vareth knew that when he returned to the Galactic Council, nothing would be the same. No fleet would dare approach Earth again. The galaxy had been warned, and somewhere in the depths of orbit and beneath the clouds, humans waited patiently. They had been gone from galactic politics for centuries, but they were far from weak. They had prepared for every eventuality, and they would not be underestimated again. Vareth finally allowed himself a breath. For the first time, he understood the true meaning of the disappearances. Humanity had not vanished. They had evolved, adapted, and protected themselves with power so great that no alien fleet could challenge it, and they had done it all without firing a single shot. The Zoltran fleet left Earth's orbit silently, heavy with awe and fear. For hours, the Dawnseeker's crew remained quiet, each officer lost in thought. Every moment spent near the planet had revealed something extraordinary. Humanity was not gone. They had hidden, survived, and prepared a defense unlike anything in galactic history. Vareth Torrin stood at the viewport, staring at the blue planet growing smaller in the distance. Its calm appearance belied the immense power beneath the clouds. Invisible forces, massive vessels, and adaptive intelligence, all created by humans who had withdrawn from the galaxy centuries ago. "They've changed the rules of survival," the science officer whispered. "No one could touch Earth and live to tell the tale." Vareth nodded. "And now the galaxy will know why." The fleet reached the edge of known space. Vareth activated secure communications. A holographic transmission would go directly to the Galactic Council, carrying everything they had witnessed. "Begin the report," he said. The first officer started the transmission. Images of vanished drones, strange energy pulses, and enormous cloaked vessels filled the Council's viewing chamber. Audio recordings of human messages were included, calm, authoritative, and commanding respect. "This is Commander Vareth Torrin of the Zoltran Expeditionary Fleet." His voice echoed through the council chamber. "We have approached Earth. Every fleet that has attempted the same has vanished. We now understand why," delegates gasped. Many had thought the disappearances were accidents or natural phenomena, or even sabotage. Now the truth was undeniable. Humanity is not extinct, Vareth continued. They are present, they are vigilant, and they are beyond anything the galaxy has ever faced. Every ship, every structure, every defense system is designed to neutralize threats before they can act. No fleet can challenge them. A murmur ran through the council. Some delegates looked shocked, others fearful. Vareth paused, then added, "We were allowed to observe. We were warned. Any fleet that ignores this warning will vanish. The humans do not fight recklessly. They act with precision, patience, and unmatched intelligence." The council debated in stunned silence. Delegates from the Drath Consortium, the Aelian Confederation, and countless other species tried to process the revelation. Earth, the so-called primitive world, had been underestimated for centuries. Vareth continued, "I advise that no fleet attempt to approach Earth again. The humans are not hostile without cause, but they are vigilant. Their patience is endless. Their defenses are unmatched. They have learned from the galaxy itself, and they will not tolerate intrusion." A Aelian delegate whispered to her neighbor, "We thought them weak, yet they have prepared for every possibility. Every fleet lost was not a mistake, it was an experiment. A warning." Vareth's message concluded with a final warning. "Let all know, Earth is defended. Humanity is awake, and no force in the galaxy can touch their home without consequence." Back in orbit around Earth, the human captain who had communicated with Vareth observed the departing fleet. Her eyes were steady, her presence commanding. "Have they understood?" she asked quietly. One of her officers nodded. "Yes, Captain. They will report back. The warning will spread." The captain's lips curved slightly. "Good, let the galaxy remember. Let every race know that humans do not forgive ignorance. They do not yield." She turned her gaze to Earth below. The planet was peaceful, but it had become a beacon of unmatched guardianship. Generations of humans had prepared, hidden, and now revealed themselves only enough to establish the truth. Earth was untouchable. Weeks passed. News of Vareth's report spread throughout the galaxy. Fleets that had once considered Earth an easy conquest now regarded it with caution, fear, and respect. The myths of human weakness were shattered. The story of vanished fleets became legend, no longer a mystery but a testament to the strength of a species underestimated for centuries. On distant planets, officers studied the transmissions again and again. Maps of Earth's orbital defenses, descriptions of enormous ships, and recordings of human messages circulated among the leaders. Each report carried the same conclusion: humanity had survived, and they had done so by mastering intelligence, technology, and patience in a way no other species had achieved. The Galactic Council convened emergency sessions. Some delegates argued for negotiation, others for caution. Every plan involved respect, because no one wanted to be the next fleet to disappear. Vareth's report had changed the balance of the galaxy. The humans had reclaimed their place, not as conquerors but as guardians of their home, silent yet omnipotent. Meanwhile, the humans on Earth prepared for any possible encounter. Their vessels, partially cloaked and adaptive, patrolled silently above the clouds. Sensors scanned for intruders, defenses recalibrated, and systems adapted. Each action was precise, patient, and calculated. They did not need to strike, they only needed to exist. Their mere presence was enough to alter galactic politics. The invisible fortress of Earth had become a symbol, a warning to any who would underestimate humanity again. In secret command centers, humans observed the galaxy. They had seen fleets vanish, watched civilizations grow, and waited centuries for the right moment. Now their message was clear. Earth was defended. Humanity had not vanished, and the galaxy would think twice before interfering again. Vareth, aboard the Dawnseeker, reflected on the events. He had seen power, strategy, and patience unlike any other. Humanity had not relied on brute force. They had relied on intelligence, foresight, and the careful design of systems that protected their world silently. "Commander," the first officer said softly, "we have reported everything, but do you think the galaxy will ever understand?" Vareth looked out at the stars. "Perhaps not fully, but they will never forget Earth. They will never underestimate humans again." He turned to his crew. "Prepare for the return journey. We carry a message of caution, respect, and knowledge. Humanity is awake, and it is stronger than anyone can imagine." As the fleet traveled back to the heart of the galaxy, the image of Earth remained in every officer's mind. Blue and white, peaceful yet deadly, calm yet alive with intelligence. Humanity had waited centuries, adapted, and now revealed only enough to secure its place in the galaxy. The legend of vanished fleets would continue, but now the story had a new truth. Humans were not extinct. They were vigilant. They were powerful. And they were watching. Somewhere beneath the clouds, humans observed the galaxy in return. They did not celebrate their strength. They simply ensured that their world, their people, and their future remained secure. The galaxy had learned a lesson it would not forget. Do not approach Earth. Humanity protects its home. The consequences are absolute. And with that, the humans returned to their silent watch, patient and vigilant, ready to defend their world against anyone foolish enough to challenge it.